Hello, and welcome to today's live. We are talking today about getting happy and content with life right now. And I have Sinead Quinn joining me today. So, hello, Sinead.
Hi. I didn't know I did a Queen wave. Hi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah. Well, it's actually evening here, but yes, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, it's evening.
Friday night.
Sinead's
Yeah.
over in Australia, so that's why we are a little bit early today in our live. So, hopefully, we're going to have a few people join us. But Sinead or you introduce yourself, Sinead. What do you do?
Okay. What do I do? A bit of everything at the moment. Yeah, I'm a new personal trainer. I live in Sydney. I'm from the UK. And yeah, I just do a bit of everything at the moment. I started PTing, and then 2 weeks later the gym closed. So now I'm kind of doing online PTing, and then studying as well, hopefully to do like life coaching, kind of mindset coaching as well.
And
So yeah.
you've been through a bit of your own journey as well, haven't you, of how you got to be a PT? Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so I've kind of been on a journey, I'd say, for like 2.5 years maybe now. And I've always been like overweight my whole life. And I guess I just got so uncomfortable with it that I don't know, something just clicked and I just decided enough was enough. And then, yeah, since then, I've literally just been on this crazy weight loss journey. I lost like 30 kilos over a couple of years. And yeah, like won like different challenges. Ended up just, yeah, basically turning my whole life upside down. And now I'm PT.
Yeah. So, what was your biggest challenge? What was the change for you?
Do you mean like what set it off or?
Yeah. How did you go from being overweight to feeling more confident about your body?
Do you know what? Like the turning point for me was I never forget it. I was in Sydney and I've got a twin sister and she was there as well. And it was her last Christmas in Australia because of her visa, she had to leave. And there was a social event on Boxing Day and it was like at the races and like all our friends went, everyone went. And I didn't go because I didn't even want to go to a shop and buy a dress because I didn't even want to go through the stress of like looking in the mirror. And so I didn't go and I just sat, just me and my boyfriend, and missed my last Boxing Day with my twin because of how I felt about my body. And that for me was like, I'm done. Like, when you just get so uncomfortable in the position you're in that there's no other option but to change. And that's what happened for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't need to go and find my why. It was like smack me right bang in the face.
So, it was
And
a massive mindset shift for you then.
100%, yeah. And I just kept chipping away then and just focusing on me. And I got educated as well about how to lose weight, which is so important.
And one of the reasons why I invited you on today is because I follow you on Instagram and I love
Yeah.
the way that you speak and that you answer questions specifically around mindset and how you get positive. And that's why I think it's really important for you to come on today and share that. So we'll start with the
Thank
first
you.
question that we're going to cover is how do you stay positive on
Okay.
a day when everyone else is being negative?
Okay. I wrote like some sentence starters on my books. If I look down, that's why. Just to like get me going because I've got so many opinions even around that question. And the first thing I want to say is like other people's behavior are not your responsibility. So like whether they're being negative or whether they're being positive, or even what does that even mean? What does negative and positive mean? Because that's just your opinion that they're being negative in the first place. Um, so yeah, understanding that other people's behavior are not your responsibility, and it's your responsibility on how you feel and how you act at all times, like regardless of what the hell's going on around you. Only you can control like your thoughts and your emotions. um and the other thing I want to say on that is, why do you have to be positive as well? Like people think that just because something bad's going on, that, oh god, I have to be positive now. Do you know what I mean? Like why do we have to feel like we need to be
Yeah.
positive all the time
Like,
too?
like it's okay to be down sometimes.
Yeah, like literally, I've had like 6 breakdowns this week, but like, so, like, cool, carry on. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that, like, it's that fear of if you're like always chasing positivity and always, the minute you're scratching at the surface and trying to find positivity, that's when you're not being positive
Hmm.
because your brain's being taken up by trying to find it. Does that make sense? So the minute you kind of just surrender and let go, that's when the negativity kind of goes away, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay.
Um, I had some other things around that too.
Yeah, go for it.
In saying that, it's important to protect like your energy, like I like to say, and people's, like, if everyone's got a vibe going on, if there is a negative vibe, then you are going to pick up on things like that. So there's ways to obviously protect it as best you can, to the best of you can with what you've got. Obviously, if you're around colleagues and they're all being negative, and you've got family that are like negative and stuff like that, there's things you can do. And like a big one that I've learned myself is boundaries. Like, you need to start practicing boundaries and stuff. It's okay to say no to a phone call, to a group chat, if you know that everyone's going to be going off about the COVID thing all day. It's okay to say no to like a work meeting, obviously, unless you have to go. But you know, if there's things that you can say no to, or I can, like today, a meeting with my gym, I only said half an hour, because that's all I can handle right now. Do you know what I mean? So it's about having boundaries 100%.
Yeah, and I think people will understand that, right? If you're having a bad day, it's okay for you to say, I'm having a bad day and I actually just need some space right now to think.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like, it's okay, and especially in front of like family and stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to be like, oh, I just want half an hour by myself, or oh, this is just my time now, even if it's for like 5-10 minutes. And that's the way you're going to protect your energy and stuff, and stay more positive. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So then so we've got a lot of members that have got long-term goals and they've been wanting to lose weight for a long time. And then obviously this situation has kicked off and it's changed a lot of things for people. But how do you stay focused, set yourself a long-term weight loss goal?
Yeah, I've literally got like a massive list here. I was like, what things should I do? But the main one, I always go back to my journey, to my 30 kilos, and I was like, right, what are the like key ingredients here? Like, how did I stay so focused for so long? And when I look back, one of the biggest things always was acceptance of where I was, like, now. Because you're only ever in the now. And if you're thinking about what's ahead all the time, it's just a thought, isn't it? You're not actually there. You're only going to be there when you're there. Do you know what I mean? And if you think about the past, if you spend too long in the past, oh, I messed up at the weekend, or oh, I overdrank, or I overate, whatever. Again, it's just the past and it's gone. There's nothing you can do about it. So always just try and stay, like, in life anyway, not just for weight loss, as present as you can, and in that moment, and accepting of where you are, and enjoy the journey is another one, because if it is a long journey, which it always is, oh, sorry, there's something happening on my phone there. It is going to be a long journey, and if you spend so long in your head about the future, then you're never going to enjoy where you are. Do you know what I mean? And trust
an element of
trust
like self-reflecting along the way as how far you've come.
Yes, literally, I wrote that down. Check in with yourself always, and accountability, and pay attention to the wins. I've got a journal that I didn't use like all the time, but I look back at it, and I used it maybe like once a week or something, and I would always write down, before my goals, before things that went to shit, sorry, my language, I would always write down things that I did well that week. I always would do that. Or if I did start off negative, I'd always turn it around and be like, hang on a sec, but you did this, this, and this. Like, when I'm coaching people, before, they'll come at me with a whole paragraph of negativity, or like things they've done wrong, and I'll go, okay, but what about the wins? Or what have you done well this week? And then they go, oh yeah, and they end up saying like 5-10 things that they've done well. So we're always our harshest critic, and it's always so important to give yourself the positives, and like really see what you've done. Do you know what I mean? Because there's always so much that you have done, and then that kind of motivates you then and propels you into the next week.
Yeah, it's
so yeah, that's
easier
key.
to remember the negatives because they stand out a lot more. But reminding yourself of the positive and having them written down is a great tip, because people can actually look back and just remember, and starting on a positive note in the morning can just put you in the right mind frame for that day as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, make it a ritual. Like, I do it every Sunday.
Yeah.
I try. And if you don't do it, it doesn't matter, but just give it a go. Like, if you want to create some sort of habit, at least once a week, at the end of the week. I used to call it like R&R, like with my old clients, like reflect and reset. So like, we'd reflect on the week that they've had. They'd always have to give me 3 positives before we even start anything else. And then the reset is like 3 new goals for the next week.
That's awesome. Love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone read Atomic Habits, everyone. That's an amazing book, and it'll help you with the kind of having a bigger picture and then breaking everything down. And there's always, he talks about that ice cube analogy where like it starts to heat up and like nothing happened, and then all of a sudden it's like melted. It's that kind of thing, in that everything you do is made up of like 1%. So have a big goal, have a big thing in your head, which is fine, but always just break it down into like weekly and even daily, even like meal by meal. Do you know what I mean? Every meal, every little choice you make is just a little piece of your giant puzzle.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just remember that.
Those smaller pieces make a big puzzle at the end of the day, and you're not going to see the finished picture until you've completed those pieces.
Exactly. I didn't even plan that. That was a great analogy. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I actually, can we go back to that first question quick? Because I had something really good that I forgot to say. In that, when you said, how do you stay positive when everyone else has been negative? One big thing I wanted to say is change your perspective on that person. So like if you, like when you say, oh, that person's being negative, that's not a fact. That's your opinion that they're being negative. Does that make sense? So instead of trying to change the external and what's happening, you can change your perception of that situation.
Yeah.
So like from some,
what they're saying is negative.
correct. So like someone, I just wrote down here, someone being negative is your opinion, right? Which is just a thought. But someone being negative could actually be someone who's had a bad night's sleep, who's worried about their job, has a sick kid at home, and is feeling unwell. So and they could have just had a bad day, and they're just projecting their bad day onto you. So in actual fact, it's not negative. It's just that person's just had a bad day. Do you know what I mean? And it's not personal. So instead of like looking at someone and thinking, oh, they're negative, and showing like, I don't know, if you're annoyed at them or something, change it to compassion, because you never actually know. And then all of a sudden they're not negative anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, move on. Yeah, I wanted to go back there.
Yeah, no worries. So the other thing we were talking about is obviously at the moment, a lot of people are going through dramatic changes. So
Yeah.
how do they stay focused on improving their health when their jobs are on limbo, they're not getting in as much money, they've got kids at home that they're now trying to teach, and loads going on at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. So my biggest tip here is, I'd say, like, lower your expectations. So like I had a load of goals and stuff like in the gym and whatever. I had all that, but all that's gone now. It's just gone. And my new oh, how do I say it? Like, what I viewed as health is different now to what it was 2 months ago. Like, I've got up on the board like literally the simple basic like human functions, and I tick them off each day just to like check in with myself and make sure, like, my health at the minute is like mental health is massive. That's now a focus. I don't really care what I can squat at the moment. I care about my mental health and make sure that I'm having an okay day, and I'm checking in with myself, I'm staying hydrated, I'm getting out for a walk like once a day. That's now my health goals. So like, that's still health. Do you know what I mean? So like, lower your expectation, change your expectation, and you can still work towards your own health and fitness goals, but they might just change.
Yeah. So with someone with a weight loss goal, do you think they should still be aiming for that weight loss goal, or how do you think their mindset should change on that?
I mean, it depends where you're at in it. Like, if you're just starting, let's say you started a few weeks ago and now you've completely got everything flipped upside down, it might not be the best time to diet. Like, I think everyone's different. Like, for the first month, I didn't diet. I didn't even think about it, because I was just working on my mental headspace. This has been the first week where I've actually just started tracking my calories again, for example, and trying to even just hit maintenance, because now I'm finally in a mental headspace. But remember that, like, your priorities change, and sometimes your diet might be like fifth down the list now instead of like first or second, and that's fine. That's okay. It's the feeling of like anxiousness that people get, and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to put on weight again. And sometimes you just got to relax and know that it's always there waiting for you when you get back. Do you know what I mean? Or if you do want to do it, that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I think everyone's different, and it just does depend where you're at.
You've solved your mindset first, and if you're okay with that, then either go for maintenance, or if you feel like you're in the right place, then there's no reason why you can't go for a weight loss goal, but don't feel like you have to.
Definitely. Don't feel like you have to. And don't worry if you were doing weight loss 2 weeks ago and now you're not. Like, it's fine. It's cool. It's fine. Go to maintenance for a bit if that's what you want to do. If you're used to like tracking and you know what maintenance is or whatever, it's definitely given me some relief at least. Knowing that, just it is what it is and you'll just get there. And the more relaxed you are about it, the quicker you'll get there to start it again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, total sense. And we've got a lot of members who are parents and they've got kids or they've got work commitments and stuff like that, that people depend on them. How do they feel less guilty about spending time on developing themselves when other people are depending on them, such as their family and work and things?
Yeah. So I got a quote here and I can't remember where I read it from, but it's guilt is an unmet expectation of yourself. So you feel guilty when you're not meeting your own expectations. So I'd want you to question that, and everyone to question that, is where are you getting that expectation from? Has someone like written on a bit of paper and gone, that's what your expectations are? Oh, okay, now you're not meeting them, you should feel guilty. Quite often you make them yourself. You make these expectations, they come out of nowhere. You're like, all right, I need to be doing this, need to be doing this, need to be doing this. And if I'm not doing that on the daily, that means I need to feel guilty because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So check in with yourself and actually figure out, well, where did these expectations even come from? Speak to people. And also, I'm not a parent, so I'm not, I can't give any parenting advice, but what I'd want to say is, like, how would you want your child to be when they grow up? Like, would you want them to be giving out everything they've got and nothing to themselves, or would you want to teach them boundaries and how to care for themselves first? Do you know what I mean? They're going to follow in your footsteps, and it's the same with friends, it's the same with colleagues and stuff like that. I always say to my clients as well, fill your own pot first. Like, it's so important. There's no guilt to feel there.
Yeah.
You might do less than you want, but
it's always part of being like a role model as well. So if you're showing your kids this is a healthy way to live, then they'll follow in your footsteps and lead that life as well.
Exactly. And it is really hard. I get it. Like, I know I'm not a parent, but like, even from like my mum parenting me, like, I get it that you just want to give them the world, and you do find it hard to be like, actually, no, this is my time. But it's so bloody important, because your kids are going to learn from you, right? That's all they've got, especially now when they're not at school. They're going to learn from you, and you might feel pressure, like you don't feel pressure about trying to be this perfect parent, because no one is. But if you show them boundaries and things like, oh, I'm actually going to go read a book for 10 minutes, or I'm having my switch off time, whatever, they're going to pick up on that and they're going to learn that. So you shouldn't feel guilty. You should feel proud of yourself for wanting to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, remembering from when I was a kid, my mum used to get us chopping vegetables and stuff, and then we would kind of be part of that healthy living and active lifestyle that she led.
Yeah, get them involved. Yeah,
and that's why I'm so active now, is I've definitely followed in my mum's footsteps.
That's brilliant. That's so good.
So another
cool.
question we've had was, how do you get happy and content with life right now?
That's a great question. When come tell me.
I saw you answer this on Instagram, and it was amazing. I really loved to hear what you say on this.
Did you? I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember what I said now. Yeah, I know you sent it me. I can't remember, but I've got an answer anyway. Stop looking for it. Stop looking for it. It's not anywhere out, and it's going to sound so cliche, like it's within you, but it is. I'm telling you, it's true. It's not in like the next like app you download. It's not in the next like Netflix movie you watch. It's not in the next 10 kilos you lose. It's nowhere. Trust me, I've tried to find it for the last 2 years and I could never find it until I understood that it's about acceptance, and happiness is accepting where you are. It's accepting where you are internally, externally, whatever. And happiness is freedom, like from your mind, like from your thoughts. Is to understand that you might think all these things and like think negative things and whatever, but happiness is when you understand that your thoughts are just thoughts and you can observe them and you are just what you are. Does that make sense? Like, I find it really hard to explain, but
I think so many people are so busy trying to chase the next thing, whether it's a weight loss goal or a new house, a new car. Like, they're just constantly trying to live in the future and chasing after that thing. And I think we forget to be happy in where we are and what we have right now. And I think if we look back look at what we have, we could probably be quite grateful for a lot of things right now.
100%. Like, a good place to start is to change your perspective in when it comes to happiness. And in terms of a practical thing, is like sit down now and write down a list of 20 positives or benefits of your current situation. Sit down. It's hard and people are going to be annoyed at that and go, oh, but it's a terrible time right now. Yeah, but with every bad thing there's always 5 good things on the other side. So you can easily, I had to do it. Do you watch Paul Mort's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he was like, write down 30 positives or something, and I was raging. I was like, what do you mean? I can't find. And then I sat there and did it, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my God, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you start to change your perspective, and then you start to like create. That's another thing he said, is creating a focus that helps you get happy and content with life right now. Because if you find a focus on what you can do, what you can control, and just really focus on one thing, like get up in the morning and that's your focus. That definitely helps with staying content with what you've got, 100%.
And I did see one other thing when you were feeling quite down, or boyfriend was feeling quite down or something, and you were talking about the tools that you would have in your tool belt to kind of, if you're in a bad mood, how do you turn yourself out of it?
Yeah, this is huge. This is amazing, actually, this one is, and I never used to understand it, but it's like you can control how you feel, you can control your state. So when you wake up in a bad state, you have the tools to change it, even though when you're in it doesn't seem like it. And I never understood that before. I was like, oh, I'm sad, that means I'm sad now. Oh God, I'll wait till I get happy again. No, we have control over that. And again, Paul Moore, I love him, he gets himself to an 8 out of 10 every day. So emotionally, physically, and mentally. And I've taken that on board. And even my boyfriend now, if I'm having a bad day, he'll go, Sinead, where are you out of 10? So always check in with yourself, first of all. If you're feeling down, you're feeling angry, pissed off, whatever, sit there and check in with yourself. You go, okay, where am I at out of 10 emotionally, physically, and mentally? And actually do it, like even say out loud, I've done it before, and you go, oh, actually I'm feeling like a 4 out of 10 physically. And then you start to ask yourself questions. Okay, how can I get to an 8 out of 10 physically or emotionally or mentally? And you start to create your own little like toolbox. And everyone's different. You're all going to have your own ways of getting out of it. But one thing to do is to create a happy list. Write a list of things that actually make you happy and make you feel great, whether it's like a cup of tea. Like for me, it's like go make a coffee and just sit in the sun, like perfect, 2 minutes done. It can be so many things. And things on my list that might help other people are like gratitude. So showing gratitude, actually sit there and think, what am I grateful for right now? And practice that every day if you can. Deep belly breaths are another one, where you just sit there and it's a form of meditation. Exercise, of course, even if it's like a 10-minute run, just anything. Listen to music. So like the last 2 days I've been working from home, but I've had 90s pop on all day. Lovely. That makes me happy. Yeah, brilliant. Literally, I've been singing like Spice Girls.
If anyone's watching and you love 90s pop, then pop a comment in the box.
Yes, honestly, unreal. But I forgot that stuff makes me happy. Like I texted my life coach the other day. I was in a horrible like headspace, and she went, "What did you used to do as a kid? Do something that find your inner child. Do something that makes you feel good as a kid." So I actually sat and was like, "Oh my God!" Me and my sister used to sing to karaoke all the time. So then I put all them songs on that we used to sing to, and it just made me feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, start to create your own little list. Some things that are like instant, so like the breathing or just focusing, like getting out of your head and focusing. Meditation's a huge one. And then yeah, just start to create your own little thing. And one more thing around that is like routine. If you can create a routine right now, that is going to save your ass. Like honestly, even if it's like one little morning routine or bedtime routine, start small. Like your whole day doesn't have to be planned out. I've made that mistake. I tried to plan out my whole day and it didn't go to plan, and then I was just like, but you just got to start small and just start with like one little morning routine, and then one little thing at lunchtime or whatever, and having that routine and like ticking off them boxes is going to put you in a much better headspace as well.
Yeah, and if you put into those things that make you happy, things that make you smile, then you can definitely put yourself in the right state of mind.
100%. Yeah, just know that you're in control of this, and if you feel down, it's okay. You can come out of it, and you don't have to sit there and wait. You can change it. I think that's really powerful. That a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I love the way that you speak about mindset. Definitely. So I'm really hoping
I
that
love it.
you found that useful. Anything else you want to add, Sinead?
Oh, I could talk for hours, so no, just shut me up. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think I got everything. But wow, I was going to say, if anyone has any questions and wants to talk a bit more about their personal experience, or if they do need any help with kind of perspective and things like that, then I'm more than happy to help.
Someone's just commented that finding your inner child advice is great. I've been making a list of things that I need and things that I don't need, and the don't list is huge.
There you go. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, inner child stuff's huge. Everyone, if you're listening, like Google it. Google inner child healing, inner child work. It's really powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So is that a book or a video?
No, it's like a thing. Like it's a part of like healing. It's a little bit spiritual, but that's I'm all over that. But yeah, no, just Google it. there's a lot of work you can do on it, on healing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, awesome! Thank you very much, Sinead, for joining us. It was amazing.
No worries. That was so much fun.
Something good away from that. At least one thing.
I hope so.
I encourage everyone to watch this back because there was so much content in it that there's probably things that you've missed or overlooked that you could probably go back and pick something else up as well. So
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks.
Amazing. I know we're gonna have a chat on Monday, aren't we? Because you've got aches and pains, like a lot.
Oh my God, you would not believe. Yeah.
I'm gonna come and sort you out and see what I can figure out.
I can't wait.
As well. But yeah,
yes.
that's what we do. We are specialised in pain, knees, backs, and shoulders mostly, but we'll cover everything.
Amazing.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you very
Awesome.
much, Sinead, for joining me today.
No worries. I'll speak to you soon.
See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.